making sense of new Microsoft certification path, right? My name is Kazeem Adegboyega. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, and Azure MVP. I've been doing this for about 16 years, over 16 years now, and I also work as so I lead a team of very great people at the Lab CCBC, and you can look me up online. It's Kazim Can Teach. All right, so this is what we're just going to quickly run through. I will look at, had the old school Microsoft certifications, and we have the new school certifications now, and the MS exam categories. So it's been categorized differently now. So we get to see what the category looks like. And then there is a naming convention to the exams now, which is quite different from what we used to have in the past. So we look at that as well. And we try to wrap things up with some of the goodies that we have for you guys here at the last CCBC. So starting off with the old school Microsoft certifications, I don't want to say I'm an old school guy, but I've written a number of those old school, so to speak, certifications. So where I had my MCSA, my MCSE. So I remember my first Microsoft certification was on Windows Server. No, yes, my server certification was Windows Server 2000. So I think I wrote that for Windows Server in 2005. So you get the picture. So when you look at the old school certification, you will have conventions like MCSA, you have the MCSE. So the then MCSA, is an acronym for Microsoft Certified System Administrator. So if you're writing a single exam, you write an MCP, right? A Microsoft Certified Professional. So you could be a Microsoft Certified Professional on Windows Server. You could be a Microsoft Certified Professional on the Windows Client Operating System, say like a Windows 2000, a Windows Server 2003. So in the past, the certification has always been product-based, right? So if you're a SharePoint person, you can decide to make, just focus on SharePoint, and you become you get your MCSA on SharePoint. You can get your MCSA around the Windows Server, right? But all of these exams now are retired, right? So Microsoft, they found out from time to time they change the face of the exam, right? So the one we used to have back then is quite different from what we had in 2018, for instance. And this is 2021, so it has also changed somewhat. But if you've written some of these old exams, they still continue to show up in your transcript, right? When you write a Microsoft certification as an MCP, a Microsoft Certified Professional, you'll get a page dedicated to you. So you can log in microsoft.com/MCP, and from there you can see some of the benefits that you are entitled to, and some of the free downloads that you're allowed to do. And you can also look up your transcript, right? So the transcript shows all the available exams that you've written and passed, right? And you can also from there share with other people. So instead of having to download certificate and then sharing it with people, so you simply can download a link and share that link with people so to look up your transcript. You get the picture. So if you've written an old certification exam like myself, I've written a number of Windows 2000 exams, so they still continue to show up there in my transcript, right? And now the new school, right? The new certification. So what we have now is that Microsoft has decided to make this certification, the new certification now, to be role-based, right? Instead of making them be product-based. The technology is fast advancing, right? So it's a little bit more difficult now to catch up on these different moving parts of any given technology, any given product. So when you talk SharePoint on its own is very robust, very big, So now Microsoft decided to make it role-based. so that people can focus on areas that they see interesting to them. And so this makes it a little easier now for employers and also people that are looking for jobs. So as an employer, if I need someone to help me man my Microsoft 365, I have a 365 tenant, and I want somebody to help me manage my 365 tenant. I don't have to say, oh, I need somebody that knows so much. I can just focus on getting someone with a very good grasp on Microsoft 365. So you see, if I need someone with Active Directory experience, Azure Active Directory, so I can just look at that instead. So if I need someone who can help with a little bit of AI. Now we have AI in the mix. So that's what Microsoft has done now to make the certification be role-based, right? Okay, so talking about categories now. Now what we have is that Microsoft certification are in three different categories. We have first at the top the fundamentals. So the fundamentals, we equate that to entry level certifications, right? Entry level certifications, let's see, yes, entry level certification. So it requires nothing of you. You don't need to have any prior knowledge to do any of the fundamental courses. So if you like Azure, so there's an Azure fundamental. So if you're a data person, so you can get data fundamental. So if you're a security person, there's a security fundamental. There's even artificial intelligence fundamental as well that you can do that, right? So those are entry level. So if you have zero knowledge, no knowledge at all about a product, about Microsoft technology, so the best place to start will be Microsoft, the fundamental certification. So you get to learn some basics, terminologies, and you can pick things up from there, right? So the next one is the associate. So you can equate the associate to, you can liken it to the MCSA, the old Microsoft Certified System Administrator. So the MCSA, or talking about this associate in question, Microsoft Certified Solution Associate, require that you have some baseline knowledge or about the given technology that you want to learn. So let's call it Azure. So if you're looking to do Azure and you want to start with the associate, it would be recommended that you know how to do a few things. You know about the terminologies at least. So when people begin, like I heard Tosin mention past terminologies such as PaaS, IaaS. So you should have a good grasp on how to differentiate between those different terminologies and how to do some little implementation, right? So this requires that you have at least some basic knowledge, even though Microsoft claims that the associate certification, there is really no need, to have a prior knowledge how to do that. But best practice, start with the fundamentals first before moving to the associate, right? So there you learn some implementation skills, and a very good example of this would be your Microsoft Azure Associate, right? So that's MPSA on Azure. So you can be an MPSA on AI, on data, so on and so forth. And the last one is the expert certification now. So you can equate these to the old MCSE, right? So since the old MCS is no more, so what is replacing it now is the Microsoft Certified Solution Architect Expert. And sometimes the way you also differentiate when you just see the logo is by the star. So you see that the fundamental is with 1 star, and then the associate has 2 stars, and that the expert is with 3 stars, right? So this is, if you need to write this kind of exams, is a little tougher, to write. It's more difficult because it assumes that you have some knowledge already about that given technology, about that given product, right? And that it is not enough for them to test you on how to implement, but they require you to have some design knowledge. So that when we used to do the MCSA and the MCSE then. So what differentiates those guys with the MCSE badge, from those with the MCSE badge is that the MCSE could plan, whereas MCSA, you learn a lot of concepts, a lot of how to. So when you call an MCSA guy to deploy something, he's happy to roll it out. So, but he might not put into cognizance planning, scalability. So those are the things that you get to spend some more time learning when you do the expert exam for the MCSE. You get the picture. So you start to plan properly. So this application, this deployment that I'm about to do, is this something that is scalable? Is this something that can stand the test of time? So on and so forth. So you get the picture here. So the naming convention has changed somewhat. In the past, when we are writing an entry-level Microsoft certification, we have the MTA, right? Microsoft Technology Associate. So you could do MTA on HTML, let's say. You could do MTA on database administration. You get the picture. So the equivalent of that now is the fundamentals. And I mentioned we have the MCSA before. So you see this logo here. That's the old MCSA, right? So you need to write a number of exams to get the MCSA badge. But what is replaced that now is still MCSA, but now it's called Microsoft Certified Solution Associate, right? And the last one being MCSE. So you have MCSE for the infrastructure people, and if you're a developer, you look at doing MCSD, Microsoft Certified Solution Developer, right? So that now has been replaced with MCSE. So I think I need to be mindful of time because of the next speaker coming on stage. Quickly, the naming conventions, right? So when you see names such as AZ1XX, so you could see AZ100, you get the picture, AZ203, 200, so on and so forth. So the 1XX, anytime you see one, so it's for system administrators. So if you're a system person, you're a network person, then you're looking at 1XX exam. So 1XX is for the administrator. The AZ2XX for the developer, right? And the 3XX is for cloud architect. And if you're someone with, you've acquired all of the skills and you need to build solutions, you need to put things together in an agile way, then you're probably thinking DevOps, right? So for DevOps, there is the 4XX, for DevOps. And if you're a security person, security knowledge is very vital today, regardless of your field, regardless of whether you're a developer or you're an administrator. So it would make sense for you to be able to back some security skills, right? So you're looking at 5XX for that particular one. And the 9XX, for instance, 900, 900 is the Azure fundamentals, right? And same thing goes for the data as well. So you see data instead of AZ stands for Azure. The data is DP. So DP represents data. So for the data certification, you want to do data science, you're probably looking at, DP 100, you get a picture. So there's data engineer, you want to move ahead. So you're looking at DP 2XX. Database administrators, you want to do DP 3XX, and the fundamental DP 900. So quickly, the certification roadmap. So you see the fundamental, the administrator, and you have the expert here. So sometimes you need to write combination of exams in order for you to be able to qualify for the expert. Maybe 2 exams will give you, the MCSE, the now MCSE badge, right? So for you to learn more about this, I would suggest and advise that you visit Microsoft Learn's website from time to time. Microsoft on a continuous basis, continue to add to this certification. Now we have artificial intelligence. You get the picture. There was data. Initially, we used to have just Azure and Microsoft 365, but now there's data science, there's artificial intelligence. So just be sure to always visit the Microsoft Learn website to learn about what has changed, right? And thank you very much for joining my session. And I hope you've learned. Maybe I can take one question, just one question, and we can call it a wrap for my session here. So thank you.
Let's appreciate the second speaker, please. That was also my